Hey, how you guys all doing? Um, Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. And I just want to say thank you for coming up. I'm still waiting on my guest. I had confirmation from him probably about midday today. Um, Something must have come up because he hasn't been able to pop up on here. But either way, um, I'll be on for a little bit. If he comes on, then we'll go ahead and do the interview. If not, then we'll figure something to talk about. Actually, there's a couple of things that I guess I could talk about, um, but more than anything else, I'd really like to have my guests today, and I'm assuming that's why you guys are all here too, to have an opportunity to get to meet this person if you haven't met him, which I find it a little bit difficult because he does have quite a bit of subscribers. So there's a possibility that a lot of you guys have probably already subscribed to his channel. Hey David, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por el apoyo constante. Tengo en pie a hacer algo en español, nomás que esta ya la tenía agendada, así que el stream de ahora va a ser en inglés. Yeah. Hey, Ian, haven't seen you in a while. Well, let me get some hellos out of the way as you guys are arriving and hopefully make a little bit of time and see if Tobias can come on up. I've already sent him a message. He hasn't, it doesn't indicate that he's had an opportunity to look at it, but I'm sure we'll figure out what happened if he comes on. No, wrong message, wrong alert. But anyways, I want to say thank you so much for Danny Aquatics for being the very first one here. Thank you so much, sir. You know, I just I can't say enough thank yous for everybody that's been supporting me all this time. I just, what else? I don't know what else to do other than say thank you. Tommy, thank you so much for being here today. Osama, thank you for being here today. Fish Hippie, thank you so much for being here today. Jeff, like always, true and tried. Okay, he's responding to my message now. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Hey, Coral Aquatic Reefs, thanks for being here. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Scotty Aquati, thank you so much for being here, sir. Steven, thank you so much. Ian, Aquarium Magic, thank you for being here. Robert Reed, thank you so much. Sorry, I just saw the time. I'm going to set up now completely. Thought it was 3:30. Okay. Yeah, so there was a little bit of time confusion, but he should be coming on. Well, in the meantime, I guess it'll let me talk about a couple of things. But Sandy Daughtry, thank you for being here. Laro, thank you so much for joining us today. Alex, thank you so much for being here today. I guess one of the things I guess I can talk about is there's a video that's coming out that I'm working on. I've had to do some fish moving around in the fish room. Hey, Keith, thank you for being here today, sir. My guest is running a little bit late. Looks like you'll be on here as soon as possible. And, I normally don't have a big fish turnover in my fish room because a lot of the stuff that I have in here is stuff that I'll keep for its regular lifespan. And a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff I'm keeping, it just, breeds and I have more. So it's an ongoing cycle of having more and more of these fish. Right now, I am having a little bit of a problem with my last electric blue Okara. It seems to be having it's dealing with a bout of not blout, but swim bladder issues. And I've been medicating them and doing the Epsom salt baths, but I mean, I'm not putting him down because he has the will to live. He just can't stay submerged. He's floating on the top of the aquarium. But every time when I think he's dead, I go in there and he darts off and he can swim all the way down to the bottom, but then he'll blow up again like a balloon. And I've been doing almost every day doing the Epsom salt bath, and then I've got some medication running in there to try to see if it alleviates some of that bacterial infection that's probably causing the problem. And well, we'll get back to that other stuff. Tobias is here, so let me go ahead and bring him on up. Hey, sir, how you doing?
Hey, sorry, I was late. I totally got the time mixed up in my head.
No worries. No worries. You're allowing me to catch up to some of the people on what I got going on in the fish room.
Nice.
But I'm so happy that you're here today.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I started following you before I ever even conceived the idea of possibly being a content creator. I was trying to remember. I was looking back and I actually went back to your channel. I was trying to remember. I think the very first time, the first video that I can recall that you had posted was you had set up like a plastic, like a 20-gallon tote, and I think you were using it as a hospital. Uh, uh,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and I think the reason I kind of came across that because I was trying to figure out a way to quarantine some fish, and you know how you plug in a search on the search bar and it pops up a bunch of videos, and I was going through all of them, and then I remember coming across your video, and I thought it was real interesting that you were using totes, as a supplemental aquarium, and that ever since then has just kind of piqued my curiosity as to what you were doing. Started looking up at your channel, and I noticed that you had a broad spectrum of different kinds of videos that you were doing, and that's kind of why I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of that stuff. You're frozen. I don't know if you can. Are you there?
Oh yeah. You
Oh,
don't
okay.
see? Oh okay.
No, your image is frozen.
Oh, it is. I wonder if I have to do something. Let
There
me
you
see.
go.
Oh, it's
There.
okay now?
Yeah, now it
Oh,
is.
okay. I think it's when I enlarge the screen. Did it freeze
Oh,
again?
no, it didn't freeze. Now it did.
Oh, okay, it's when I enlarge the screen, I guess it freezes.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Okay, it's fine. I'll just leave it like this.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, and then once I started looking at that, um, I can't remember if at that time when you had that video, where did you already have the swimming pools outside?
When I did the tote, yeah, I think I had the first pool pond.
Yeah, because that was kind of like what kept me coming back. It was kind of like, oh, okay, what's he working on now? And then I think I saw that setup, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. I never would have thought of doing like using a pool as a above ground pond, and then the evolution starts happening after there. Um, but I remember the appeal to your channel was, it seemed to me, and I might be mistaken, but at the time, how much experience did you already have in the hobby? Because it seemed like you were kind of going through the paces and learning a little bit as you went.
Yeah, like when I first got the pool pond, I basically had no experience. That was like my first. I actually had that before any of the aquariums. So the pool pond was kind of like my where I started learning. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's quite a way to get started in learning into the hobby. But you had already been making a lot of other videos before the fish stuff, right?
Yeah, I never really had a niche. I just did whatever I felt like doing, and then like I would do like a lot of like review videos, like tech reviews or like things like that, or like I was even just doing like regular vlogs before that, and it never really like went anywhere, and I didn't really know how to kind of build an audience. And then I think it wasn't actually until about maybe a year ago, or like maybe a year and a half ago now, that I decided I'm going to do only the fish stuff, like the Aquamigo stuff. And so I kind of made my channel just about that.
Yeah, because I remember kind of when I saw that video, I wanted to see what other videos you had in there, and I started seeing you had some like microphones you were reviewing. I think like a lot of audio, like a lot of tech equipment that I noticed that you were doing at the time. As a matter of fact, one of your review videos later on, I used it to purchase my very first wireless set of microphones. I think
Oh,
based off
cool.
of based off of a recommendation you were making, because I was when you first get started on this, the last thing well, at least for me, uh, I'm not going to invest a lot of money in what I'm doing because I don't know if this is something that I'm going to continue to do or not. And so I just wanted something that was like entry level, but that was still a pretty good quality product. And I remember watching one of those videos. I said, oh, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot because you were talking about it for the price range. You felt it was a pretty good product. So I said, I think it was like $20, between $20 and $30, the cost of the little wireless mics. And I thought, that's not,
Oh,
I can
okay,
spare
yeah.
that. So, but that was the first thing. So when what gets you into YouTube? Where do you start deciding? Okay, I'm going to do videos. You just kind of alluded as to where you found your niche, but going back, where does the idea come of doing content?
Of YouTube? Well, I guess maybe the first idea that I ever had to like make a YouTube video or anything like that was over 10 years ago, I guess. Actually, maybe even longer before that. Well, like I played in like a rock band, and I was thinking like, what's a way we can get like promotion
Mm.
or like free promotion? And noticed like a lot of other small bands, like, well, maybe not a lot, like a couple other small bands around the area where I live. I started noticing were getting like pretty popular, and they were like making YouTube videos. And this is before, I think before I even knew what like vlogs were or like anything like that. And I started noticing people doing that and also posting cover songs on YouTube. And I noticed like a lot of these videos were getting like a lot of hits, like a lot of views. So I thought like, oh, I'll start off like doing music. I'll start doing like some music stuff. And that's kind of like why I'm into like audio gear and stuff like that, like microphones and stuff like that. And so I never really got into fish until like much later. And then yeah, that's, I guess that would be the first introductions like content creation that I had.
Yeah, because I know I've seen a couple of your cover videos and stuff like that. It seems like um, you guys are really big, obviously, because you guys like music. It seems like your entire family is like into the karaoke scene and singing. And it seems like I was watching some of your vlog videos, and in that, whenever you guys get together, that seems to be the common theme through your gatherings. It's music is a big part of your guys' life.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the parties and everything. We have the karaoke setups and all that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so, like I was going back to what I was saying, one of the things that I really found appealing about what you were doing with especially with the fish related stuff, was because at the time, even though I had been in the hobby, I was still, well, I guess you never stop learning, but I guess you could say that I was just at the cusp of getting past the beginner stage. I could kind of knew what a nitrogen cycle was, and I could before an issue became a problem with the fish, I would be able to identify some of the basic diseases. So I had that much experience under my belt. But and this is something that I've always tell people that when they want to start a channel is it's really interesting to see somebody that's willing to go through the whole learning progression and be able to document that. And that's what I kind of felt by watching your videos, that I was going along with you in your journey of learning.
Yeah.
And you didn't make any qualms about not knowing stuff, which most people, they're on. A lot of people try to pretend like they know stuff when they really don't. You were
Yeah.
like straight up, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And like in the comments, people would like correct me all the time, like, oh, you shouldn't put whatever I was doing. Like I remember one time I was like taking water from an old fish tank and putting it into a new fish tank. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do this to cycle the tank real quick. And people are like, that's not how that works. And uh, that's like, that was a big part of my learning process, was just like people commenting on the videos and telling me like, oh, that doesn't work or this does work, or yeah, suggestions. Yeah.
How bad were some of the comments? Because I know people can be brutal. You know what? I've been very fortunate in the short time that I've been doing this. This is about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years since I started actually posting stuff. I've been very fortunate. Hey, my wife is on there, and I haven't really gotten a lot of negative comments, but when I do, I think my personality just says go with it, and oh, thank you so much, and I just kind of play into it, and they don't ever come back. but I don't know if what your experience has been like, because I know some people get, I mean, they get punished.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, luckily, I feel like in the fish community, people are, like, pretty nice. I mean, you get the I've definitely gotten the occasional rude comment or, like, the hate comment here or there, mostly about, like, maybe it'll be just something that has nothing to do with anything, like, "Cut your hair," like, "What do you wear?" Like, stuff like that. Um, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. I know from some experience, like, say, like, some of them like, if you're doing something more DIY or, like, say, like, I even posted, like, a few car videos, and if you make a mistake on, like, a car video or, like, some other DIY project, people are, like, really brutal in, like, those niches for some reason. Like, if
Yeah,
you're
I was gonna ask you because I know you do the tech stuff, and I was gonna ask you to compare that. How is it like in the tech stuff? The music seems to me like people can be brutal. I mean, I've just seen people just like, God, why are you doing this? You know, it's probably one of the most vulnerable things to expose yourself and be able to do something to get some of those reactions. But based that you have different genres, which is the one where you feel is like, ah, these guys are just cutthroat.
Yeah, I would say definitely the car ones, the car videos for sure. The car scene is, like, very weird. You get people who are, like, extremely supportive on one side, and then people, like, to the extreme opposite. Like, you get both sides extremes. You get both extremes where, like, the fish stuff, pretty nice. The music stuff, people, in my older music videos or cover songs, people will definitely say, like, if they don't like something, people aren't afraid to voice their opinion. But it's okay. And then another thing that I did notice is that if there are a lot of positive comments, people are less likely to post a negative comment. So,
Mm.
like, say, like, now I have, like, a small following and, like, people who I'm, like, kind of friends with online who always leave, like, positive comments. Um, Someone's less likely to come in with a negative comment, and I think it's because they're afraid of, like, retaliation from the rest of the comment section.
From the masses.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if a lot of people are leaving negative comments, and I've never had a video where I've had a lot of negative comments, but I've seen on other people's videos, if there's a lot of negative comments, people feel more comfortable posting a negative comment.
Yeah, because and that was one of the things that I was wondering for you because I know one of the reasons why people hesitate to come on and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do something," is because sometimes, and it's not always the case. Uh, Sometimes people can be just vicious, and they'll see that, and they'll discourage people from trying to pursue something they want to do. Uh, it seems like that was not an issue with you because you continue to learn and grow and obviously each time tackling on bigger projects, and willing to see, okay, um, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to figure it out. And that was the other thing that I found fascinating was you were very frank. You'd be like, I've never done this before, but why am I going to pay somebody else to do it when this is a learning opportunity? And I just that was one of my favorite things of watching the evolution of from going from that above ground pool that you're using as a pond to when you turned and decided that you were going to do an in ground, and then that one grew to a bigger pond, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a course of a year from one to the other, right?
Yeah, I'm actually still not finished with, like, the in-ground pond. It's still, like, a work in progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then along the way, it's also kind of cool to see that your channel all of a sudden just starts taking off. You know, what what was that? Probably about 5 years ago when you were doing the tote video.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you were probably probably somewhere close to 1,000 subscribers or
Yeah,
something
I
like
think I
that.
was under 1,000, yeah.
And then all of a sudden now to where you're at today. But I think a lot of it has to do with that relatability to you. You're doing something, and like I said, I could relate to it and go, oh, that's something that I could see myself doing or trying to accomplish and stuff like that. So, but off of that, and then the other thing that I really liked, most of these DIY videos that you see out there, a lot of the project gets captured like in a course of a few minutes because
Yeah.
they'll record it until it's done. I like the fact that you were taking it step by step, and and it wouldn't be over one day or another. Sometimes it be like a week gap, sometimes a little bit longer, but you would pick up where you left off, and you were building this almost in real time. It seemed like to me
Yeah, yeah.
because it hasn't really. I mean, how long you been doing this? It's
The pawn build?
mhm.
It's been over a year now, yeah. Like like a year and ooh, I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember when I started, but it's definitely been over a year. Maybe like a year and a half even. Yeah. Yeah. It was yeah, sometimes like when I was first starting on the in-ground pond, I remember I would record a video. I would try to do like even just 1 day segments, even if I didn't complete a task. I would just record a video 1 day. The next day I would edit and schedule it to post the following day. And then the next day I would work on the pond and record another video. And I was in a pretty good routine for a while where I was trying to post like 3 times a week. And as time went on, it kind of became a little more difficult, but to post so often. But yeah, it was more or less in real time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and and where do you get the initiative to say, okay, I'm going to take this task on, and we'll figure it out? Because that was the whole thing that I thought was pretty cool. Is like, we'll get started somehow. We'll get there because I'm not mistaken. But you said you had no construction experience before. You had never done anything similar to this, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah. Never done anything like that. Never mixed a bag of concrete in my life.
So where is it that you say, okay, I'm going to go from this above ground, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this? I mean, what makes you decide to do that?
I think it was just watching other people on YouTube do it, and I thought like, "Oh, I could do that." Like like the concept doesn't seem that complicated to me. I just need to learn along the way. Like it didn't seem like something that was like too difficult to where I couldn't learn how to do it, you know? And I watched a ton of videos of like other people doing it. And of course, like the more I watch other people do it, it gives me more confidence to try myself. And the above ground pool ponds, or at least the first one for sure, it was never meant to be like a permanent fixture. I always knew like I don't know what the lifespan of those things is, but I always knew that eventually I'd need like a proper pond. So it was either that I was gonna have to build one myself or I would have to pay someone probably a lot of money to do it for me. And frankly, I wasn't sure. I was pretty sure it would be like pretty expensive to have someone do it because even myself, I'm in the project a few $1,000 already. So I can only imagine what it would cost to have someone do it. So I thought I take a crack at doing it myself.
So in the process of doing this, is there any things that you figured out and said, oh, I should have done this instead of doing this? Or
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's been a ton of stuff.
and
Yeah.
then you also DIY'd your own filtration system, correct?
Yeah, on the current pool pond that I have, I still have my DIY filtration system, and I am going to do build like another DIY filtration system for the large pond. Um, just because the old one that I have, it's not going to be big enough, and there like are some definitely a lot of things that I can improve on the new one.
Okay.
So yeah, that whole I don't know. Going forward, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'd like to think that my DIY filtration system will be perfect, but I don't mind upgrading parts here and there along the way, you know. If I want to switch it out for like a professional koi pond filter or something down the line, I'm not against doing something like that.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say because that's what I was gonna ask. The reason that you did the DIY, was that because it was trying to cut the cost down, or because you figured by doing it yourself you could customize it to meet your needs.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. Um, One thing that I kind of learned when I had my first pool pond is that there's no like one size fits all kind of solution for these for filter or for pond filters in general, even like I guess even for like aquarium filters maybe. Like you can buy like I've seen pond filters out there, it'll say 1,000-gallon pond filter. But like what does that really mean? Does that mean like how many fish can that support? Stuff like that. So I kind of thought as long as I go bigger than what I currently have, it'll support the fish I have plus some extra ones. Um, but yeah, a big part of it was the cost, cutting the cost because those nice koi pond filters are pretty expensive. And then I always thought like, oh, I'll s- I'll do the DIY, and if it doesn't work, I'll down the road I can always go the other route and go for more professional stuff.
Nice. Now, it's what would you consider this? Like 90% done now?
Yeah, I guess the only thing I really have to do still is the filtration and the return lines.
So the
So
large pond still doesn't have fish in it?
no, it does have a like little rosy red minnows for to take care of the mosquitoes. But yeah, no goldfish or koi.
Okay. So are you going to keep one of them goldfish and the other one koi's, or are you just moving everything to the big one?
I think I'm just gonna move everything into the big one and then take down the old pool pond that I have everything in now, and then maybe I'll like landscape that part or like do something else there. Yeah.
Okay. Now, because I know when I saw when you were talking about the toad, you had like a 20-gallon, or was it 10
Yeah.
gallon, a 20-gallon, and then you had bought recently like a 20-gallon long that you were going to set up for a goldfish, I think,
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
had got.
exactly, yeah. Or
And
sorry, I had a 10-gallon, a 15-gallon, and the
oh,
20
okay,
gallon.
it's a 50.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have those, but they're all guppy tanks now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So
took the gold.
I was going to ask you, do you have tanks inside the house?
I do, yeah, I still have the 3 tanks still. I'm on my laptop, I could walk around with it and
Oh,
show
cool,
some.
cool.
Yeah. I was actually out of town for, like, basically, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 10, 11 days altogether, so I haven't done a proper clean out of these tanks, but, here's one of them right here. This is the 15-gallon.
That's your original tank, right? That's the one
Yeah.
where you had the goldfish.
Oh, no, the goldfish was actually in the
Oh,
20-gallon, which I have over here. Let me show this one. Yeah, the goldfish was in this one right here.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, like when I first got the 10-gallon tank, it did come with a goldfish.
Oh, okay. So it was a 10-gallon that it was in?
Yeah, the 10-gallon, and then yeah, I got it from I found it on the Nextdoor app. Do you know the Nextdoor app?
Yeah.
Someone was giving it away for free with a goldfish, and that's how I got the 10-gallon.
So what kind of guppies are you breeding? Is it just fancy, or you have some straight lines?
Yeah, these ones are the 20-gallon was like a mixture of like endlers and fancy guppies. This one right here, the 10-gallon, these are dragon guppies.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually the 15-gallon is the same exact fish. I just split them up so there's not so many in one tank. There's
Now, are you just keeping those for enjoyment purposes, or are you looking to flip those and breed them for profit? Or
I kind of had thought about it. I just kind of feel like at least for now, I don't really have the time um to do the whole breeding for profit thing. I actually
Mhm.
got these from a guy on Facebook that he came across my videos, and he actually lives nearby, and or not nearby, but like in LA,
Mhm.
like maybe an hour from where I live. And he asked me if I wanted some, so he gave me all of these. So I didn't like really have a plan for them. Um, but I always thought like, oh, I'm gonna end up with probably a lot. I could sell some, but I never uh got around to it. And I think it's just going to be like a lot of It's like starting another small business, kind of. Yeah.
But is that something you're interested in doing eventually, or you're just strictly just going to stay with the pond and
Yeah,
enjoy that?
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll give it a shot, but especially with I'm kind of working a lot right now too, and
Okay.
I just don't see myself doing it in the near future. Yeah.
So does that mean that your fish videos might be kind of dwindling down now, or
They definitely have been for the past few months. I haven't been able to upload as much. Like I think the last time I uploaded was maybe close to a month ago. And I'm trying to figure something out where I have have an editor um take care of a lot of the editing because that would definitely allow me to put out more videos. But yeah, because I'm not, to be honest, I'm not happy with like the way my YouTube channel has been going just because I haven't been uploading as much. And I've always wanted YouTube to be, one of my top priorities. And it's just been a crazy couple of months where I haven't been able to even work on the pond as much as I've wanted to. But the fish videos, it's not something I want to give up. I still do plan on pursuing that. I just need to figure out like a more efficient way to do it.
and do you have any other projects that? Well, probably not because you say you're real busy with work, right? Or do you have anything that you've kind of put in the back burner and for when you find more time? Projects being something as big as what you did with the pond.
Yeah. Oh, so like, do I have any more projects like that coming up? That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of people have been asking me like, "Oh, what kind of content are you gonna be making once you finish building the pond?" And it's kind of scary because I don't really know. I was thinking about maybe doing something where I find other people who are trying to build ponds, and maybe I can help build other people's ponds or something like that. I'm not really sure. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other things that like that I'm guilty of doing is I'll go to like local fish stores and do a tour of the store.
Oh
It's
yeah, I've seen
I
those.
like those because I personally enjoy them. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that I do, but I like watching people, especially when they're not in my area, because I get to experience uh, that store through somebody else's perspective. Because the likelihood of me being there are probably going to be slim to none.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's always interesting to see what the stores look like, what they're keeping, and then you get a feel for what kind of fish. Like if you go to a lot of the stores up in the Phoenix area, you're going to see a lot of cichlids because of you by seeing these cichlids, you realize okay, these guys are dealing with a lot of hard water because that seems to be the prevalent fish. African cichlids are huge in the Phoenix area,
Oh, wow. I
and
didn't.
and so that's where you that's now that I've been in the hobby for this long that I start picking up on those things. And then you'll go to stores where they have a lot of fish that are more towards saltwater fish, and you
Mhm.
go, oh, okay, that's probably they're keeping a lot of those because they kind of match the water parameters that they're in that area. And then you just have the stores that just carry everything else, and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. But that's why I like them. And then you get to see what are some of the things that what the stores look like, and you get ideas sometimes. I've gotten a lot of ideas from just watching other people's videos and stuff like that to do stuff here in my fish room.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy those too.
I've also had a similar idea to what like the the fish store tours where maybe going to other people's houses who have fish rooms like similar to you and making videos of like their fish rooms. Eventually I want to do a trip to the UK because a lot of the koi pond
Oh,
guys are in the UK, and I think it would be really cool to visit these guys and like show their ponds and stuff.
yeah. Even some of the stores that are up there are fascinating. They're like little gallerias. They're not like your traditional fish stores that we see down here. Now,
Yeah.
but you're in the LA area, so you have a lot of resources out there when it comes to try to document these fish stores because I know there's a ton of stores down there. And
Yeah,
then
there are a lot, yeah.
now, do you belong to any of the fish clubs in your local area or anything like that, or is that something you've never been interested in doing?
No, I actually wasn't even really familiar with fish clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's I think two or three up there in the LA area. Uh, the one that I'm familiar with is more in Huntington Park
Oh, okay,
area.
yeah.
So,
I know
but
that area.
that down there, and there's actually quite a few people that actually do create content that are belong to that particular fish club. So that would be also a good point to if you're trying to get to people's houses and do some of their fish rooms. That's a great resource to be able to make some of those connections and be able to visit some of these people's setups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll have to
Once in
look
a I this year was the first no last year was the first year that I actually got to go to one of their meetings. But I have to drive everywhere I go because out here I live in Yuma, Arizona,
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay. So are you originally from Mexicali?
Yes.
Oh, okay, and then you moved to Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened was I, for the longest time, I used to be a border commuter. I used
Oh,
to
okay.
live in Mexico, but I worked and went to school in the United States.
Oh.
So it was like a daily thing where it just became part of the routine. Originally, I was born in Los Angeles
Oh,
and we
okay.
lived there up until I think I was like 7 or 8, somewhere around that age. And then my dad ended up having to go on disability because he hurt his back and he couldn't work where he was working at, and we ended up moving back because they're originally from Mexicali,
Oh, okay.
and so I had already been in elementary. They tried putting me in school in Mexico, but um, they were talking about taking me all the way back into first grade, and I think by that time I was already either in third grade or something like that. And I was like, oh hell no, I ain't going back to
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. A 2
So
years was big back
yeah,
then.
they figured out a way to get me to go to school on the state side, and I just continued my education there. But I guess I missed on that opportunity of being able to go to school in Mexico. But I wasn't going to go back so many grades. I
Yeah.
was like, I was, all these kids. I was going to be the biggest kid in the classroom, and the oldest kid in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
But but yeah, that's why originally, yeah, and that's where the name actually. I started my whole venture into all of this just almost before moving from Mexicali. So I've been here in Yuma. I want to say I'm going on almost 4 years. Well, 3.5 years is where I'm at. So that's how long I've been out of Mexicali. But I still go back. I have family there. It's only like a 55-minute drive for me.
Oh, not
So,
bad.
so it's not bad from
Yeah.
where I'm at now. So basically, I'm still in the general area.
Oh, nice.
Why are you familiar with Mexicali?
No, no, I've just seen it on the map. Like I've never been there. Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, I know you fly down to Mexico. You were down in Guadalajara not too long ago. You can
Yeah.
actually take flights from the city of Mexicali that'll fly you into anywhere really in the part of
Oh,
Mexico. And if you go through Volaris, you usually find some really good deals. I mean, when we went to San Miguel de Allende, I think my wife and we paid like I want to say $350 round trip for the both of us.
oh, not bad. Yeah.
So, but we flew out of Mexicali.
Yeah, yeah. I also flew down to in December I flew down to San Luis Potosi,
Hmm.
and it was hard finding like a good flight down there from LAX. There was like layovers. It's not a long journey. I mean, it's not the distance isn't so bad, but you have to either lay over in Dallas or Mexico City. They don't have anything like which makes it like a whole day of traveling basically.
Yeah. Well, and if you look into because I know they have a terminal in Tijuana,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they have the bridge where you actually can park on the state side and you go across the bridge and it takes you right into the airport. I have family that's from LA and they fly to Guadalajara because they have a residence over there, and they're doing that all the time. And it's the way they set it up was purposely for Americans to be able to cross directly into the airport, so you don't even have to take any cabs or anything.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
so, but and you could still get some really good, the same kind of deals that I'm getting down here in Mexicali. You can get them out of Tijuana.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would
Okay.
recommend because I know you go down to Mexico quite a bit. I've seen in some of your videos, your vlogs that you
Yeah,
do.
I've been like 3 times this past year. It's so yeah, finding like a more the only problem is I'm kind of far from Tijuana. It's like maybe a how far would that be? Like maybe close to 4 hours? 4-hour drive or so.
How far north are you in LA?
In L pretty much like northern do you know where, like Six Flags is, Magic
Yes.
Mountain?
Oh, you're in Santa Clarita?
I'm actually just south of that in, Granada Hills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and then with traffic. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
going
it would be further to go to Mexicali though, if you went that route. That's added like another 2 hours to that drive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so LAX really is the most convenient, I guess, for me, but yeah, they don't have a lot of direct flights down to, like, Mexico.
Where do they take you to? Where's the connecting flights usually to?
Usually it's, well, like I was saying, Dallas or Mexico City.
Oh, so from there you have to take your flight into Mexico?
Yeah, yeah. Or they also have
Interesting.
I mean, they have direct flights to, like, Guadalajara.
Well, that's a big city. It's a
Yeah.
metropolis. I'm sure they have them in Guadalajara. They have to have them into Mexico, the DF, just
Mhm.
because you know. And I think Querétaro is the other one that's starting to get pretty big. They're I think it's going to be the third largest airport in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And Cancun. You got to go to
Yeah,
Cancun
Cancun. I don't know
because
if
that's
they probably have direct, right? Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm sure. Well, no, because you probably connect in the city of Mexico and get the hopper from there to so. But but yeah, no, that was the other thing. And I know I saw the one that I really liked was the one you were doing when you went to Germany and
Oh,
you were
yeah.
checking out the waterway and you're looking at the wildlife in there. I was like, yeah, this is cool because most
Yeah.
travelers won't show you that.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen a eel in the wild. That was cool.
And that's why I thought it was kind of neat because you see a lot of the travel vlogs and they tell you about the city and all that, but you being that you kind of like fish, I thought that was very interesting that you were kind of like, oh, let's see what's in this waterway and what kind of
Yeah,
wildlife they have in there. And that was like, yes, this is my type of guy. And that's
yeah,
exactly what I would be doing too.
yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I love looking at, like, I don't know, just, like, everything like that. The different fish everywhere you go, and, even, I was even thinking about maybe checking out more public aquariums when I travel. That seems like it might be some good content. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. I know Fathom Aquatics in here. He's posted a few videos of those. It's kind of neat too because again, um, a lot of people that live in these areas take them for granted because they have access to them every day.
Yeah.
But for like somebody that's me on the other side, because he's in Georgia, somebody that's over here on the West Coast, unless I have business or something to go to that state, more than likely I probably won't go visit that aquarium. But being able to watch it through somebody's perspective is also kind of neat. Have you ever attended any of the expos that are out there for that are hobby related?
Like Aquashella or something like that? I've never been, no.
I know this summer in June in Pomona,
Oh, yeah?
there's gonna be the Aquarium Super Show.
Oh.
And what's really cool about this one though is because they're gonna have live plants. They'll have a show for like house plants and succulents, and then they're gonna have a bird show also. So these are like three different buildings that they're gonna set up, and they're gonna have reptiles and aquatics.
Oh, wow.
So it's basically like I guess it's what I'm thinking it might be is like what used to be the LA Pet Fair, but now they're gonna focus a little bit more, and it'll be in Pomona, and I think it's the 29th and the 30th of June, which is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like pretty close for you.
Yeah, yeah, Pomona's not far at all. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I didn't even know there was one out there.
Here's a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
They're asking, they want to know how did you get started in music and what kind of
Oh,
inspired you to produce?
how did he start in music? What inspired Surprise to produce? Yeah, I guess just because when I was like a teenager and I started playing guitar and then I started playing in a band or my friends and I, we formed a band, and then just out of necessity, we had to learn to record. So I was kind of the guy that took the initiative to learn recording, and I mean, I didn't. It was a struggle, and as time went on, there were more and more YouTube tutorials and stuff like that that I could kind of figure out how to do stuff. And that's basically it. I kind of just learned out of necessity, and then I wanted to post cover songs on YouTube, and I just kind of learned as I went along. Yeah.
So do you feel like a lot of that experience of doing that kind of helped you when it comes to editing your fish content and stuff like that, where you're just kind of like, all right, I can do this. I have a general idea how to edit a video and stuff like that.
Yeah. When I was in college, I did take some like digital video
Okay.
courses. Um, it wasn't like my main area of focus. But I would say it definitely helped me. Um, and also music is also like a time-based media, just like videos are. So I guess there is some like overlap, but yeah, I've always been into like when it comes to videos, I've always been into like visual arts. Like I liked fine arts when I was younger. I was a graphic design major in college. So I've always been like very like visual oriented.
Okay. So you had quite a bit of experience then.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, are you still doing any of the music stuff? Are you still in the band or?
No, the band broke up pretty much around 2017.
Okay.
And then I think I did my last show ever. Well, I mean, not that I'll probably do like another. I'm not giving up on music 100%, but the last show that I ever did was in 2017 with a friend and I. We performed at the Work Tour in Pomona,
Okay.
and that was the last time I performed live. But I still have like I have a ton of songs on my computer that I've just never released, and hopefully when the time is right, I'm trying to. I do have music that I want to release, but I, I'm trying to now. My focus of what I'm trying to learn is marketing. I have a job now where I work in marketing, and I'm also trying to learn how to market music myself. And the next time I release music, I want to have like a year long marketing plan, just so I'm trying to put this into words, but I'm trying to go into music this time to with a plan
Okay.
instead of just releasing songs because if you just release songs without a plan, a lot of unless you get very lucky, usually nothing will happen.
Yeah, unless you get a song that just happens to go viral or something. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Silver Creek is asking, um, how does it all tie in? Through the arts loans, or was there ever a person or artist that really pushed you to go further, or was it your own motivation?
So I guess hmm, so I guess my dad's a graphic designer. He worked as a graphic designer when I was younger, and he's also an artist. And so I guess maybe I was encouraged, or maybe not encouraged, but it was like art was kind of like a normal thing growing up. So I always like drew. I always like took art classes and things like that. And then what was the last one? But as
Oh,
far as
here,
like
I'll put it back
really,
up there.
yeah, oh there it is. Okay. As far as really pursuing it like music and videos, YouTube, it's all my I would say it's like 90% my own motivation just because I've always like had this strong fear of like 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 what if I get stuck doing something with my life that I don't like, you know? Like I want to make a attempt to make a career out of something that I can see myself really enjoying.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you because I know your dad also plays musical instruments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he plays a little guitar and harmonica.
Yeah. So I was wondering if that's where the music influence, also came, or was it something that he picked up after he saw you do it, or
Yeah, yeah, he always had a guitar. He didn't play much, but he had a guitar, and when I was maybe like 14, 15 years old, I kind of took an interest in learning how to play guitar, and he showed me the basics, and then I kind of took it from there.
any collabs with your father in the future?
Uh Nothing planned, at least. There is a YouTube video on my channel that is maybe like, I don't even know how old, maybe like 10 years old or something, where I'm playing guitar and singing. My dad's playing at the very end of the video. My dad comes in with the harmonica. Um
Okay.
so we have like one that one collab, but if anyone wants to look for it, it's called I don't remember the song name, but the band, it's a cover of a Youngblood Hawk song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the genre that you enjoy, the music that you enjoy playing, or you just kind of played that because that was part of what the band was playing. What kind of music is the one that really interests you the most?
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough. I mean, I was really into like almost every, not every genre, but most genres. I've always been interested in like pop music, rock music, and then like subgenres of rock. Like I liked I think I started off with classic rock when I was learning how to play guitar, and then I got really into like emo, some more hardcore stuff. I got really into like hip hop music, pop music. The only things I never really got into, and then more recently, I got into like some Spanish music, like the corridos and stuff like that. There's
Snoop
like a,
Dogg.
yeah, um, yeah. I never really got so much into like country. I never got really into classical music, but almost everything else. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now, the production that you do for your music is just for your own music. Do you have any interest in possibly dabbing into producing music for other people, or
It's been an idea. Um, I feel like I have a lot to learn if I want to try to do that. I like my skills as a producer aren't at the point where I feel like I can charge money for my service. Well, I mean, not a lot of money for my
yeah?
services. So yeah, it's not really something that I'm really looking into.
Yeah, it's interesting because within the community here, one of the things that's always fascinating is, and that's why I like talking to people, is you learn what else they do besides keeping fish, because that's kind of like the common denominator. But I'm surprised how many musicians we have with just the fish community, and there's just once you start finding out, you start connecting with different people, and it's just kind of cool that you get to see a lot of that, and it's always surprising who are the musicians in the group. But there's uh there's Mike B and his wife Maritza. She's a drummer and he plays the guitar, and they actually have like it's not they say it's like an academy band. I guess it's a group of people that are still learning to perform, but they actually go out and do live performances.
Oh,
And
nice.
and then there's another guy, uh, Greg, 3G, and he plays the guitar, and he'll do a live stream, and he'll sing in there. As a matter of fact, right there, this one right here is a song that's kind of cool because the bottom of the chat,
Oh, okay,
uh,
okay.
it's basically they took a lot of inspiration from a lot of the YouTubers that do fish stuff, and it's basically a fish song.
Oh, cool.
So
I like
you
it.
have him, and then there's Danny Weshi, who'll do parodies. He'll take parodies of popular pop songs or rock songs, and he does them hobby related stuff, which is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
cool. And then so you have and then you have some original songs. Stephen P has the Guppy Mosh Pit. It's actually a pretty good rap song that he put together. You
That's
too.
fun.
You play the clarinet, Funk. Um, and so it's just interesting how much talent there is within just the fish keeping community. And it's kind of cool because when you go to these events, there's one in particular where a lot of the content creators are kind of gravitating towards, but it's in Pennsylvania. It's called the Keystone Clash.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Keystone Clash, here's the one that I was telling you about, the Guppy song, the Guppy mosh pit. And they'll get together after the event and they'll have like a little jam out session, which is kind of cool because you have all these people that have that skill and talent, and then you have little sing-alongs. So it just kind of brings more of a camaraderie to the community, and it's a good time. But that's what's kind of cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't realize there were actually so many musicians in the fish community.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. Well, a lot for the size of the group that we have. There's quite a bit of people that are involved with the music somewhere or another. Some sing, some will play instruments and stuff like that. But there's quite a bit, and they're really talented too. There's actually I don't know. Are you familiar with the website called Fish Fam Link?
No.
That's if you're interested in trying to find other content creators that are within the community, that's a good resource for you. And in there, if you go to that website, what you'll find is I can actually email you the link if you're interested in it.
Okay,
and,
cool.
And in there, you'll find everybody that's kind of registered on there. You'll find their channels. If they have emails for contact, you can, it's a great tool, not only to see who's creating new content, because it'll post when somebody releases a video. If somebody's doing a live stream like you and I are doing right now, it'll notify throughout that, because I'm part of that Fish Fan Link. It'll put it out there that I'm going live, and it'll notify people even if they're not subscribed to your channel. It's a good way to draw people to your channel and stuff like that. So it's a real useful tool, and it's something that another hobby is created for the community, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Now, I noticed that you haven't done any live streams.
This is my first one ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was kind of like. Oh, he hasn't done any live streams. As many subscribers as you.
Like thinking of what to say on the spot.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of just jaw jacking. That's all I ever do. Nobody's coming to me to learn anything at all because I don't have anything useful to teach them. But I do like meeting people. That is one of my. I'm kind of using this as my entry point to get to know interesting people that that I watch what they're doing, and this kind of gives me the end to kind of get to meet some of these people and find out a little bit more about them, like I'm doing here today with you. So that's why I kind of do the live streams. But there's what's interesting about the live streams in our community. It doesn't have to always be fish related. Like Mike and Maritza, they'll do some music stuff. It's got nothing to do with the hobby, but if they'll do live streams where they're practicing for a performance they're doing, and it just kind of becomes like a hangout. You get to hang out with them, listen to them, go through the process, and just it's just a bunch of weirdos that like fish kind of hanging out together.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, I see someone asked what my favorite cartoon was when I was a kid. I think The Simpsons was my favorite cartoon.
Yeah, they've been around for quite a. They came on the scene. I want to say I think it was like either
like 89 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like my sophomore year in high school. So
yeah, over 30 years. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but I used to watch that, but then I just gravitated to South Park because they were just ruthless.
Yeah. It was kind of like the more extreme version of
Oh yeah, that was like the adult version of cartoons, and that's what I used to watch religiously. I quit watching The Simpsons, and I just really gravitated towards watching South Park.
Yeah,
just trying to see every episode how much further they're going to push that envelope.
Yeah. before getting taken off the air or
Well,
something.
but that's the thing though. They've never been pulled off the
Yeah,
air,
I know, it's crazy.
and it's just because it's an animated series, so you can't say that it's real. It's an animation,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah. So you said you're not really sure as to what the future holds for you as far as the creating content for the fish. Do you see yourself continuing some of the reviews, maybe reviews of hobby related products, or
Yeah,
um,
so I definitely have some, I have at least one review planned for, like I think I do have some, hobby related reviews coming up. I don't know if you guys could hear, there's, like, motorcycles driving down the street, it's
oh,
so
is that
funny.
what it is?
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess I don't have an exact plan for what I'm going to post, but definitely there's going to be I'm gonna get some new shopping for like some nice koi, or maybe make upgrading the pond, maybe some reviews for like hobby related products. For the tech reviews, I actually have a separate channel that I'm doing that on now.
Okay,
Yeah, so
so
I'm still doing the tech.
you've kind of separated it and trying to make this one as just fish related stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to keep this channel just fish related, and just to get into it, just like really quick, with the fish stuff, what was funny is when I was doing like all the different genres of videos on my channel, I noticed that I only had a return viewer percentage of like something around like 2 to 3%, which is like super low. And now that I've switched over to just like the fish content, it's something like 40 to 45% return viewer. So, so it's definitely, I found it to be pretty beneficial to just focus on like one niche.
Okay.
And then on the tech channel, um, the it's kind of the same situation where the return viewer percentage is like pretty low, like maybe less than 4% or something like that.
And now, is that because there's so many channels that do tech review stuff, or is that what you think? It's just a lot of competition there, or
I think that maybe it's a different strategy. There's a
oh,
different strategy or a different approach that people need to use when you're doing like tech related content. And I kind of just realized recently, like maybe it's in the way that I make my videos. Because, for example, if I'm reviewing a microphone, people are gonna search on YouTube or whatever the name of the microphone. They're gonna watch my review. Maybe they like it, they subscribe, and then I post a review of another microphone, but they already own a different microphone now, because so they're not interested in seeing like they're not interested in seeing like 10 more microphone reviews.
yeah.
So I think that's part of it, but also I think there is like maybe another strategy I can use to get return viewers. I just haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, got it.
Mhm.
Now, since we didn't get a chance to really talk a little bit before that, do you have a time limit or um
No, no.
okay.
I'm actually okay. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I try to be conscious of people's time. Um, it's just out of respect for whatever it is you're doing. Because I know sometimes people have a little bit of time and they're willing to give me that. I want to make sure that I'm not abusing that privilege.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually okay. Oh, someone wants me to say Aquamigos. Aquamigos.
They've been
Uh,
watching your videos.
yeah. But yeah, for today actually I work for a company in China, and so for them it's going to be Monday at like they start the workday at my like 5 or 6 p.m.
Oh,
So
okay.
so usually around that time on a Sunday I get kind of busy, but it's only 4 p.m. right now, so I'm still okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, oh, going back to, would you be interested in attending some of these expos or not? Is that something you're kind of not interested in doing, or
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty cool. The one in Pomona is pretty close. And I've actually just been to a couple expos. I've been to like just in the past 2 months, I've been to like 3 conventions for like I've been to NOM, I've been to CES in Las Vegas, and I went to a up in San Francisco this thing called Photonics West.
Yeah.
And what I've learned from like these conventions is that like oh, I think we lost you.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at these conventions, they're great places to network. So especially if I'm making like content, like I'm guessing maybe there's going to be like maybe aquarium filter manufacturers or like companies like this that maybe it would be beneficial to network with.
Yeah, I'm still here. I had to turn off the water because I was doing a water change and I was going to run it over.
Oh yeah, I've done that before.
I was like, oh, get myself back on there.
Okay.
No, it's because I had put it supposedly at a real slow trickle and I was supposed to be able to pay attention to it. And then I got it right before it went over the black rim of the aquarium.
Oh,
I'm going to have to
nice.
siphon some water out of there, though.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean off, but I don't want to have to clean up a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know as far as the expos are concerned, like that, there's and since you travel to Mexico, they have in Mexico City like 3 or 4. No, it's 3 times. They have some really big conventions that I'm actually curious to go check out just to see what it's like.
Oh, nice. Like fish related ones?
States. Yeah, there's Experiencia Acuática, which is happening, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then they have that one happens twice a year. They have one like at the beginning of the year, and then another one towards the end of the summer, like at the beginning of fall. And so that one is going on, and but they seem to be pretty good size. I guess it's their version of Aquashella.
Oh, okay.
And though I saw and I found out about it because I guess a guy that I follow on Instagram that's from the United States was headed out there because he was going to give a talk on saltwater tanks.
Oh, nice.
So that's how I found out that it's happening. I guess sometime in I guess this weekend because it was Thursday, I think, when he posted that he was headed over there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
That
but
actually,
they have.
sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that kind of reminded me of earlier you asked me if I have any like big projects coming up in the future. I think if I do have another big project coming up in the future, it might be something like a saltwater tank. I've always been like really interested in trying something like that.
Yeah, there's quite a few people here that also they do both. They do freshwater and saltwater. Actually, I don't know, a good sized percentage of the people, they're always trying to get me to go saltwater too. But I was like, I don't know. The only reason I hesitate is because I know I can figure it out. It's just knowing myself. I like I like having like plants in my aquariums, and the closest thing to plants and saltwater are corals and stuff like that. So it's like, nope, I don't want to go down that slippery slope. When you start hearing the little fragment of coral can cost you up to $500-$600,
Oh,
like,
I know.
no,
Yeah.
I don't need to be part of that. I'll stick to freshwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody tries to stop. No, they're not all of them are that expensive. Yeah, but the nice ones are.
Yeah, the cool ones.
But so that's the only reason I don't do salt. It's just I think maybe down the road. Yeah, Tommy found it. Experiencia Acuática. Look at Tommy, he's right on it. And so it's just that's the only reason why I have a hesitation. I've always joked that if I do a saltwater tank, I'm gonna do a saltwater molly tank with microalgae so that it looks like a freshwater planet tank.
Oh, cool.
So that way it kind of goes with the rest of the themes that I'm doing here. But because I've seen a guy that's named it's Tiger Boy, I think, on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and he does a lot of nano macroalgae aquariums, and you look at them at a first glance when you see them, because they're in rimless tanks and all of this stuff, and you glance at it and you think it's a Planet freshwater tank, but then when you look at it, I was like, oh no, that's macroalgae that he's growing in there.
Huh.
And so I found him very interesting. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this could get dangerous, because that could be my way into saltwater.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, I guess macroalgae is not as expensive as some of these corals and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really know anything about the saltwater world at all, but it's always like looked so cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting because down there in LA, you guys have Reefapalooza that comes in almost every year, which is it's the equivalent of Aquashella, but it's mostly for saltwater tanks.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of this one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of. Well, that's the good thing. If you go check out Fish Fam links, they'll post a lot of the big events on there too, and so that way you can find out what's going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I'm surprised that the East Coast doesn't. I mean, the East Coast, the West Coast doesn't have as many events as the East Coast does. East Coast seems to be having something almost every other month.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, they have
I've
some
noticed,
big.
yeah. I've
They have
noticed over
some.
there, people just seem there's a lot more like fish hobbyists over there too, like in
In,
Florida or
well, yeah, there's a big concentration of hobbyists down there. Texas, but
Texas.
Texas, they like to say they're the West. They're more like the middle,
Yeah.
just because the western part of it, that state is so big that just
Yeah.
because El Paso happens to be a little bit closer to the West Coast, they consider themselves a West Coast state. But they're kind of like the stepchild. They're not really South. They're not really West. They're not really East.
Yeah, they're kind of a little bit of everything.
Well, if you ask a Texan, they're their own state. They're their own
Yeah,
country.
yeah. Their own country. Almost a
But
side.
I got a bunch of them in here now in the chat group. They're actually from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Now, Sacramento, I don't know if you're willing to drive up there, but they also have I think twice a year they have an event called Findig,
Okay.
and it's like I think that one's more like put on by the local fish clubs, and they have events there. It's also over the weekend. They'll bring in like guest speakers also that some with notoriety, others are just like big time hobbyists that have been doing this for a long time. So that's another one that could potentially be one that if you're interested in going to an event, that could be one also that could be uh, an attractive one to
Good
do.
one, yeah.
And then if you want to go a little bit further up north, I think there's going to this year there's going to be two pretty good size events in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
So, but as far as the West Coast, I think that's pretty much it. There's nothing in Arizona that I'm familiar with. And then you have to go all the way to Texas.
I wonder if
Or
Vegas has anything. Las
they
Vegas?
don't.
Oh, they don't.
Well, not freshwater. I think they do some saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've been trying to get somebody. I think the problem is with Vegas. Everybody wants to do stuff during the nice weather, which is either the fall or the spring,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just booked solid because everybody wants to be in Vegas at that time. But
Yeah.
the thing is, with these events, you're indoors anyways, and all those venues are air conditioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would go in a heartbeat to Vegas, especially because my daughter lives there. So
Oh,
it's a
cool.
no brainer for me. They put any kind of event in Vegas, I'm there.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like a good place for one.
I know there's been talks where they've been trying to get Aquashella to go out there, but I guess again, I think it's more of the dates.
Hmm.
Um,
Shell is in Texas, right? Or where is that?
no, there used to be, I guess there still is. It started out with the very first year, I think it was in, I want to say Chicago, because
Oh, okay.
that's where it originates from. And then the following year, I think they did Chicago and Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Then I think the third year they did Chicago, Dallas, and Florida.
Okay.
And now then last year was kind of like an oddball because they only had two, I think, or the year before that, I can't remember. They're all kind of merging, but it's three different states.
Oh, okay.
It's Illinois, it's Florida, and Texas.
Oh, okay, okay.
But there's another one in Houston that was new last year. That's also a big event, and uh, and I guess it's coming back this year. And that one, from what I understand, they're trying to fill the void of Aquashella where they don't have anything on the West Coast. And
Mhm.
and if they have success again this year, it seems like they're going to go to other states on the western region, Vegas being one of them, and LA obviously being the other one.
Okay, cool, cool.
So hopefully in the future we start getting more events. But we, I'm really the reason I plugged the one in Pomona so much is because I want that to be successful because we need something in the LA area. It's not a bad drive for me. It's only like a 4.5 hour drive for me to get there. I'll do that every
Oh,
day.
that's not so bad, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, Pomona, now that I know about that, I'll definitely mark that on my calendar because that would be really convenient.
yeah, and I'll send you the link for that one too. That way you have it on hand if you want to do it.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe I'll get to run into you down there.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there seems to be like more. I'm surprised that out of the LA area, there's not really a whole bunch of content creators that are on YouTube. I think they're more on Instagram for some reason. There's a bigger concentration of LA people on Instagram than there is here on YouTube. On
Yeah,
YouTube
that's
here,
yeah.
yeah, I think we only have like Aqua Balls, which is down there in the Compton area.
Mhm.
Um, Stephanie, she's Life Aquaria, Life Aquaria or Life Aquatics, and she's somewhere in the Orange County area. Surf, is it Surf City? Surf City Aquatics. John, he's also in the Orange County area, and then Dr. Anthony, which if you haven't seen his channel, I recommend you watching it. He's got a research center in the Amazon region in
Oh,
Peru,
whoa.
and uh, and he's also part of that fish club that I was telling you about up there by Huntington Beach. Is it
Oh,
Huntington Beach
okay.
or Huntington Beach or Huntington Park? I
Okay.
gotta, but and I can send you the link to that fish club too. But that's a little bit more of a drive for you because that's going across all of LA.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, probably like an hour drive or something.
Well, with traffic, depending on when you hit it.
Oh, yeah. It could be 3 hours.
Yeah, Aquaria
Yeah.
Life is Stephanie's channel, and she's
Oh,
also up there in that area. But those are the only ones that I know that are from the LA area. You
okay,
know,
yeah.
so but
Yeah, I
and
feel
then
like I
you,
don't yeah, I feel like, I don't even personally know many people out here that are doing fish stuff.
there's a lot of them, but it's just they're all scattered everywhere. They're uh,
Yeah.
like I said, up on Instagram. There's a
Mhm.
lot more LA people
There's
that
a
I've
lot
met.
more? Oh,
A
okay.
lot more.
Mhm.
And then you go a little bit further up north, and you get into the Santa Barbara area. There's another one. She's Corey Dorval Cali. She's out of that area, and but I'm just surprised. Like you say, the state of Texas. Yeah, he's moving to Oregon. Dr. Anthony's moving to Oregon, but I don't think it's till the summer, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but what was I saying? Shit, I lost my track. Sucks getting old. You lose your train of thought. Uh, oh man, never mind. It'll come back to me.
That happens to me all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it must have not been that important, anyways. Who's Jesse? Jesse. Oh yeah, Corey Dorable Kelly. But yeah, it's just I'm just surprised that there isn't more of a presence. I know another one that was from I guess more of the upland area or Claremont area was Ben Olchart, but he's moved to Tennessee, and he was pretty big. He's a pretty big channel that was from the metro area.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, as far as I know, those are the channels that I know that are kind of in close proximity to you.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah,
And
it
then
would be cool to see yeah.
Oregon and Washington, you have a bunch of hobbyists. Well, at least that are content creators or within the community, you got a lot of people from the Northwest region.
Oh wow, I'll have to. Yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop when it comes to other content creators, other fish content creators. I know like the big ones, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then of course people like you who I've met through YouTube, but yeah, I don't know so many. Yeah.
Well, and that's also something that could open up some you know, possibilities for content or ideas for going, oh, okay, I could do a video about that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hopefully keep your channel, active.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else that you want to share with us that maybe I haven't hit on, or um, anything that other hobbies that you're interested in besides? I know the music was a big thing. I know doing the tech reviews was another thing. Is there any
Yeah.
other hobbies that you dab into?
Whew, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think. I'm really into I have this electric skateboard. I'm really into that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of like tech though. I used to be really into skateboarding when I was growing
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I guess that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Sam Scale, I think he's up in the San Diego area
Oh, cool.
because they put that he was in LA, but I think he's actually in San Diego. Because when I had him on, I asked him because I knew he originally started in San Diego because uh, I came across him. He's an artist also. He
Oh,
does
cool.
paintings and drawings and stuff like that. But he was helping put together a store that's real close to La Jolla called
Oh, yeah.
the Aquarium Depot. What is it? Aquarium Depot something store. I think it's Aquarium Depot store. I think, and that's how I came to know Sam, was because he was helping set up the entire store from the ground up, and it was kind of cool to watch those videos because you get to see what it's like for somebody to open a store.
Oh, nice. That is cool.
And
So how often do you do these kind of live streams?
whenever I can coincide with a guest,
Mhm.
I work a rotating schedule. I have a real weird schedule because we work like 7 days straight, and then we're off like two, and then we come back and work 6 days, and then I'm off like a day and I call it a day and a half because like right now I just got off of doing swings, which is 2 to 10,
Mhm.
and then I was able to be off. What was it? Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I went back to work and I'm working the morning shift, which is from 6 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's why when you mentioned this time slot, I said, perfect. It works out perfect for me. And,
Nice.
and then I'll work 6 consecutive days. And then I have to transition into working graveyards, which is from 10 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning. And there, I call it a day and a half because I'm supposed to be off Wednesday, Thursday, but you go into work Thursday night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then when I get done with the 7 days of graveyard, I get like 4 consecutive days off.
Oh, nice.
So, but it's like weird schedules,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
uh,
Oh.
and because of that, uh, well, it just gives me the flexibility to adjust to guest, um, schedules and dates. I do some stuff. If you go back and look at some of these live streams, they're all over the place. You'll see somewhere. I think the last one I did it like at 7 o'clock in the morning
Oh, wow.
because I was talking to a gentleman from England. So it
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of worked out where it was 7 o'clock for me, but it was like in the afternoon for him, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it gives me that ability to have that flexibility and accommodate the guests so that they're not being put off their schedule. The downside is I don't have a consistent date. So unless you're really following what I'm doing, a lot of the times you won't know when I'm going. I try to post like when we settle on a date with yours, I try to at least 3 days in advance is the minimum I like to do because
Oh, okay.
that way it allows people to know that I'm going to be having a guest. I've had requests where even the same day, and I feel it's a disadvantage to the person if I go live that same day because I probably won't have anybody to come over and watch it because it's just too soon to be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
do it. But yeah, 3 days minimum is what I usually try to strive for.
Cool.
The longer, the better, obviously, because then it gets to go out and be posted, and people become aware of it.
Yeah. So you probably do like a handful a month, maybe? Like maybe
I'm averaging about 3 to 4 a month.
oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 4 a month. Um, I know during the holidays I kind of backed off a little bit. Uh, I have to be careful because I tend to go all in on on stuff that I do like this, and I don't want to do it where it kind of interferes with what I got going on with my personal life. So I'm trying to find that balance.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I know there's been a couple of times where I get so excited because I can line up like 3 or 4 guests in a week, and it gets to the point where my wife will kind of give me a look and again, and it's like, oh, okay, I need to roll back a little bit because I need to spend some time with her, and
Yeah.
especially because both her and I have real busy schedules, and with my weird rotating schedules, a lot of times we're just kind of seeing each other out the door. I might be coming in from a shift and she's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
So it's that balance, you got to have that balance where I do have a relationship, and I have to pay attention to that too. That requires some time too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not all. And then as far as posting, I'm in the same boat with you. Whereas when I was building all of this behind me, it's real easy to create content. I mean, just
Yeah,
recording what you're
yeah.
doing. And since I don't turn over fish, that's what I was talking about when you jumped on. I don't go out and purchase fish for the sake of doing a video. That's not what I like to breed I try to breed what I have. And by doing so, it allows me to keep them for a long time because if I'm successfully breeding them, well, then I have more. So I don't have to buy any more.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me to do videos of like new fish and stuff like that, it doesn't happen. Once in a great while, I'll get a new species. I like more of the smaller fish, what we call nano fish.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's mostly what I keep. It's just the smaller. I like larger aquariums where I can keep smaller fish just to get a little bit more of an interaction with them.
Nice. Have you ever thought about moving on to something else that's not fish, like maybe uh like crabs or something that's similar to like maybe those
Yeah.
like African dwarf frogs or anything like that?
Not if I did something like that, it would be like mud skippers. I think those
Oh
are
yeah.
pretty cool.
Those are cool. Yeah.
Uh, the vampire crabs, yeah, those are kind of cool because they're small. I like
Yeah.
if it's something that's small, I'll gravitate to it more. Uh, I don't. I think some of the bigger fish are really nice, but it's just I don't find that appeal. Just like some people don't like what I keep because it's too small. They're like, why do you like that small? They say they don't have personality or whatever.
Mhm.
But when you get the right amount of numbers of them, you can see certain behaviors that you normally don't see. So that's kind of what I enjoy.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, of course, in the pond, I like big fish, but in aquariums, I kind of like the scale of like small fish versus like in contrast with like the hardscape or something like that.
And I like to keep plants, if you can't tell. So a
Yeah,
lot of the
yeah, yeah,
and inside the aquariums, and a lot of these bigger fish, they'll eat them. They'll
yeah,
just
yeah,
straight out eat the plants. So
yeah,
I just don't. It's not for me. I enjoy watching them. I live vicariously through other people. That's why I love this platform because it allows me to have access to stuff that I know I'm not going to do or I'm not going to keep.
yeah, 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 totally. Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, um, if we don't have anything else, then I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today.
Well,
Um,
my
we're,
pleasure. Yeah, thank you
it,
for having me.
oh no, I was so excited when you accepted to come on because like I said, I've admired what you've been doing. Um, I love the fact that you're very frank about what you know and you don't know. I love the fact that you were brave enough to say that you were still learning. Not a lot of people are willing to do that, especially nowadays,
Yeah,
and take that risk.
I'm afraid to I feel like what I'm afraid of is like I'm afraid of faking it because people I feel like everyone will know, you know?
I guess people innately have a sense for being able to tell BS from reality,
Yeah.
and in reality, you can't really fake because it's genuinely who you are, and that's what I've always have have read from you or what I've hello beautiful and so that to me has always been the big draw to you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
My wife just left.
Okay.
I love you too. And but thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I look forward to see what's next.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Are you
Yeah.
going to do a final video on the pond or?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I still have many videos ahead with the pond. And then when I finish it, I hope to put together like a pond build video start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever find a solution for your raccoon problem?
Well, the net seems to be, I guess, the way to go. Like I hammered stakes in the ground and I have the clamps, and that seems to be doing a pretty good job of keeping the raccoons out. They've still been able to walk on top of the net, but they haven't been able to get inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was that the first time that you had an issue with wildlife? Because I know you've had the pond for quite a while now.
Yeah, I actually did have a heron that would come by sometimes.
Pick
And
off
that's
your
when
fish.
yeah, it got one of my fish. It got one of my Oranda goldfish. And then that's when I started being sure to keep a net on it. And then the raccoons, they've visited my pond a handful of times. So yeah, just those two things. And luckily, nothing too crazy has happened.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully that solves that issue, and especially if you start getting into your more expensive kois, that's
Yeah,
you need to be able to keep those guys at bay.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody that is took the time out to join us, especially on a Saturday afternoon when there's much better things to be doing than hanging out with us. But thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
Oh, I just want to say thank you to everybody who is here with us today. You guys
And
are
it
awesome.
seems like you might have picked up a few subscribers too.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Well, with that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and thanks for being here. See you guys soon.
All right, bye everybody.